Okay guys, Fishy Dubs Fishing here. We're doing a 400-hour service, visual service. Not a complete service because I'm a little short of 400. Once I hit 400, we'll do the oil, the engine oil. So I took this VST tank off and I cleaned out the water jacket. It was caked. I'll probably have a short video showing that. And I got it all hooked back up again. I hooked the water up to it and the water's coming out the hoses. Perfect. So while I'm in here, these are the thermostats. There's one here and there's one on the other side. And I'm gonna pop that open and do probably a change out. I believe I looked at these a while back and they look pretty good. So I bought them. I bought Yamaha parts, and they're not cheap. They're about 40 bucks a piece. You can buy cheap ones on eBay, aftermarket, but when I go 40-50 miles offshore, I don't want no aftermarket parts, especially when it comes to thermostats. And the timing belt is going to be original. I'm not going to play around with an aftermarket part. Most of my parts I put on this engine, they're not aftermarket. So while I have access to this, I'm going to take it down, do an inspection. Now I want to see how it's put in there, because okay, this is the top. There's a hole on the thermostat and they say you want the hole towards the top. You see the hole was towards the top? That's some kind of a vent, so it vents your water jacket out. So I don't know if that's aluminum. That'd be plastic. But guys, I don't have my light. If you look in there, that's spotless. I mean spotless. When I say spotless, you could eat off of that right now. So this is one thermostat. No corrosion on it. I might just wash it out. After an inspection, I might just wash it out and keep it for a spare. You know, these have been in here 5 years, running them 5 years. And they want you to change them. I might have to cut that wire tie. They want you to change them, I think, every 100 hours. They want you to change them. But I was at a Yamaha mechanic, told me that you can go much longer than that. That's a ridiculous time frame that they're giving you. If you're flushing your engine and your engine is clean, like this engine, I had no problems at all in 6 years of running this. You don't want to drop these things because that looks like it goes way down there. You have to pull the whole freaking side apart. Okay, I'm going to cut this wire tie so I can get that out of there. Okay, so we got that wire tie out of there. Now that's what I didn't want to do. I dropped it. Okay, this one looks clean, very clean. I'm gonna have to see if I could maybe get down there with a magnet or something. I got a magnet that's very clean. Now this comes off. There's two bolts and there's a zinc down in there. There's a zinc down in there. I'm not going to do that until I do the belt. Maybe a couple years I'll do the belt. And then there's a pencil zinc down in there. So this is where the zincs are. You got one in each thermostat housing. I believe there's two under each valve cover on this particular engine. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 4 over here that I showed on a previous video. These are the most important zincs to keep an eye out. They're probably good for 1,000 hours. They say change them up, you know, earlier, but I'm just checking them. And I did change one because it was cracked. Now, if that would have fell down, if it would have came off and fell down in there, it could have blocked the passage up. So I took it and changed it and put a new one. Okay, I'm gonna try to get that thermostat out of there. Okay guys, these are 52 degrees Celsius, which is 125. So I boiled some water. Right now it's about 130, so these should open up. Should open up. I believe they should open up at 125, 126. That's what they're rated for. If this thermometer is right, I don't know if they started moving a little bit. Yes, they are open just a tad. Yeah, this one's open too. Okay. Those are working. The old one is working. That's good. Let me put the second old one in. I'm going to keep the old ones for spares. And these are open. So even though they're new, you want to check them, because you could put them in there and they won't open. If they're defective or something, they won't open. So this way you know they're working when you put them in. It's cooling off just a little bit. I want to make sure the other old one is working. So I'm going to bring that up about 5 degrees. Okay, we're a little over 130. I got all 4 of them in there. I cleaned up the 2 old ones, which I'm going to keep for spares. And those are open. Everything's open. Everything's working great. So we'll put the new ones in the boat. We'll keep the other ones for spares. We'll silicone them up and put them in the bags. case we ever need one. Okay, so we're going to get this back together. It already has its gasket on there, so you don't need a gasket for this. And remember, I said the hull, you want the hull to go up, facing up, top of the housing. Some of the cheaper thermostats, I don't think they have the hull. So maybe, you know, maybe you don't need it. If you're running the boat hard, 6,000 RPM, if you're running wide open, it might help to have that hole up at the top. But I always run this boat at cruising speed. It's optimal. I run about anywhere between 28 and 32 RPM on the tack. Now these you want to start by hand. You want to start them by hand. A lot of people like using impact gun. That's a no-no. So I run at optimal cruising speed. Let's say on a regular haul, if I want to make some time coming in, you know, I could turn the speed up a little bit. But at that optimal speed, I get about 33.1. I would say it averages 3.1 miles to the gallon. And for me, I'll take that any day. So I don't know what the torque is on this. I'm not going to super kill it. Just want to snug it down. And that's it. That one's done. I'll get the other one on there. And I'm a little bit off on the hours. I said I was at 350. I just noticed I changed this filter at 390. So I'm probably, I got about 440, just under 450 hours on this oil. And well, no, it would be 100 hours would be 490. So I'm almost at 500 hours on this. So it's let's call it a 500 hour package. And I'm going to do the gear oil at 450. I'm going to do the gear oil, so I'll make a video on doing the gear oil for you. Okay, I'm going to put this side in, and that's it for the thermostats.